it worse.
AOL Messenger.
What?
Who gives
I-
a fuck
No,
about
Picto
this?
Chat.
I'm down to do a podcast on PictoChat. Dead.
Bro.
That is deceased, bro. I would so do a PictoChat podcast.
I'm down for
It'd be
that.
amazing.
I'm tired of Zoom. I don't want to hear that name.
Almost on the phone, actually. Only a couple more weeks.
I just want school to be over. I want
Are
to.
you guys going to be all in person in the fall?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
That's
They
how
are
I
going to
planned
do what they can to implement it.
Yeah, and based on the rate vaccinations are going out, it does look pretty promising.
Mm-hmm.
Because they haven't been going out faster than I expected.
Dude, my phone is freaking out. It's not having a good time right now.
Joe,
It's
how
like
the
crashing.
How did you do it the
Oh my
first
God.
time?
I don't know. I just like flipped my camera. Here, can you still see me like correctly if I did this though? Or no?
No.
It's in portrait.
It's still in portrait mode.
Bro, where'd Nilo go?
I don't know.
This is the jankiest shit.
Fuck. We should have just started. I'm sorry. I should have just started when I had the chance. Now everything's.
No, because then we would have had this like in
My
the middle of
Discord
the
crashed.
night.
There we go. There we go.
Oh
there we
my
go.
fucking
We did it,
God.
we did it.
Oh!
Okay,
Let's go.
no more
There it
crashes,
is.
no more changes, no more
This
fuck
is when the
shit.
episode
I'm
actually starts.
starting
This
it. I'm
is when the
starting
episode
it.
actually
I'm starting it. 5, 4.
Now.
Welcome everyone to the 5th episode of Times Like These. I'm of course Geb, and here with me are the three homies, the three amigos, the three musketeers, if you will. We've got Nilo, we've got Jonah, we've got Brendan. In that order, don't forget it, or else you'll perish. Anyway, how you doing, boys?
Funny. That was funny.
Dang,
Thank you.
I had
I
a
like being
long
funny.
day. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
No, it's so funny. I forgot to laugh.
So we
Damn.
really are kicking one member out.
He left. For audio users, he left his dorm room.
That shit
Damn,
hurt.
that'd be funny as hell. I'll be sure to work a laugh into my schedule later.
Laugh will be arriving in 5 to 7 business days.
You guys seen that meme
I
of
know,
Finn
what's going on?
Wolfhard? You guys seen that meme of Finn Wolfhard flipping off the camera? And he's like,
I don't
the
think
strangest thing is that I never asked.
Yes. That image is amazing. I love that fucking picture of him.
Yeah. What's going on with me? I got 4 hours of sleep last night, but the night before I got 14 hours of sleep. So if you average that out, I got 9 hours of sleep. So technically, if you average it out, I'm doing well. If you don't average it out, I'm not doing well.
I don't think that's how sleep works. Maybe you should have had the Coke coffee instead of me.
I think I've got like a total 10 hours over the last 4 or 5 days.
I went to bed at 10:30, like day before yesterday, but I still woke up like 10 minutes before 1. I didn't even feel that tired when I went to sleep. I mean, tired enough to go to bed at 10:30, but still, that's the most I've ever slept in one go. I think that at least in my recorded history.
I mean, hell, good sleep like that, it feels good. When you get it right, when you master that like system of finding that good fucking branch, that chunk of sleep, it's amazing.
See, normally I just naturally get 10 hours of sleep if I don't sit. So I woke up at like 8 or 9, and I was like, hell yeah, my sleep schedule might get back on track now. And then I blinked and it was 12:50 p.m.
Huh. Well, all right.
I'm ready for this week to be over because this is going to be my busiest week yet.
I think I'm on kind of like my downfall of busy weeks. I think we're gonna try and it's gonna kind of slow down a little bit, at least based off today. But God only knows, so we'll figure it out. But I'm feeling good about this week. Sorry.
Yeah. After this week and the first 2 days of next week,
Hell yeah. Well, all right.
I'm just trying to
Sweet.
take it a day at a time.
Damn straight.
I'll take it a second at a time.
That sounds stressful. Well, all right. Jonah, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm feeling excited. We've had a little technical difficulties, but I think it'll be okay. I think it'll be all right. And now we're just having a good time, vibing with the boys. I got myself pretty hyped with some Earth, Wind, and Fire before this started, so
Hell yeah.
I'm in the right headspace. We big vibing.
I had some Huey Lewis and the News specifically from that one American Psycho scene.
Nice. That's
Yes.
awesome.
That's a good song. Hip to be square, you know.
Yeah.
He
How you doing,
compared to Elvis Costello.
Brendan, how you feeling? How's your vibe?
I'm chilling, man. I wasn't too productive today, but I was in a good mood, so that's a
That's
plus.
We had
Nice.
very different days.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what?
Dude.
I had amazing sleep this weekend. I slept like a baby Saturday. Yeah.
Bet you did. Bet you did.
Bet you did.
Bet
I did.
You were still half asleep when I left.
Listen. The details don't matter. The quality of sleep is what matters.
Damn
Dude, last
straight.
night I got like a solid 3 hours of sleep, and I had my 8 a.m. was in person this morning.
Ugh.
Usually it's just online, and I just like log on, turn off the camera, the whole standard, go back to sleep, and like so I got up and I looked at my phone and it said 7:40, and I was like, crap. But this morning something happened, dude. So it felt like I don't know how to explain it other than just like I felt like a snail. I felt like I was moving so slowly while the world around me was moving so quickly, but at the same time it was moving incredibly slowly. Like I stared at my phone what felt like 2 hours and was deciding whether or not I should just sleep in or actually go to class. But really it was just like a second. And I just shot up, like threw some clothes on and ran out of the building. And then as I was driving, I felt like I was going like 10 miles an hour. It was so weird.
You sure you didn't get on what Brendan was on?
I did not
Hey.
know what Brendan was on. I was just incredibly sleepy.
You shut up. I'm not on anything.
He's on Jesus, dude. He's
It
on
was just
Jesus.
me and
He's on
it was
Jesus.
just me and Brendan in Discord last night, and Brendan was like timidly, "Is like, did Jonah send you a snap of something I was doing this weekend?" I was like, "No, Jeff, he definitely didn't send me this exact snap with this exact caption and me replying with these exact words."
For legal
Cut this
reasons,
out,
viewers, nothing is wrong. Everything is fine, and nothing happened this weekend. So there you
For
go.
legal reasons, we will say he was drinking some of that Coke coffee.
For legal reasons and for just the actual thing that happened, he drank like a crap ton of gamer subs. So he was just
Yes.
like caffeine
Yeah.
going crazy the entire night, and it was terrifying. But it's
And
very scary.
they got angry, Brendan. That angry Poppy.
He got angry and then he got analytical, dude.
That's
God
like
damn! God
Alright,
motherfucking
so-
damn!
So where are we going next?
Shit, I'm feeling good as well. I'd never said that. I just
yeah.
realized. Sleep wise, I think I'm doing all right. I don't really pay attention. I got like 6.5 hours last night, so I can't really complain. When it comes to how I was feeling earlier, though, I was just vibing, hanging out, having a good time, and I was a little bit behind my daily schedule today. I plan like a daily schedule every day, or at least try to. And I was a little bit behind. I wanted to get some video editing done because I want to get back into that. And then I had food, felt good, finished food, watched like a couple of YouTube videos, and immediately got hit with this wave of just tired and like exhausted. I was like, oh no, it's 7 o'clock. I start a podcast in like an hour and a half ish. I gotta figure it out. And then I just got up and laid in bed for like 45 minutes. I just want to give a quick shout out to Gatriste, the main homie, on Twitter, because I made a tweet like, yo, I feel tired as fuck, talking about that sleep wave. He said something like, I hope this exhaustion wave doesn't impact your studies or your emotional health. I was like, you know what? Damn straight. So I just got up, sat back at my computer and jammed for like 25 minutes.
That's
and
awesome.
I feel much better now. Plus, I
That's awesome.
basically chugged that Coke coffee, so now I feel like cracked out.
Dude, that has so much caffeine in it.
Probably, yeah. I'm feeling
good,
it.
dude.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to sleep for too long, but that's okay because I could probably get some work done.
Yeah, I drank my. What?
Is that yerba mat too? Yerba mat tea.
I've got a question whenever y'all are ready, but that's when you want to get into it.
What were you going to say, Neil?
Yeah.
I was gonna say I drank my first Sprite in a while last night.
Nice.
I read the nutrition on the back, and I realized it. You know how it shows us percentages, like your daily values of each like macro it has. It had 126% of daily sugar value.
Hey, you know what? Gets you feeling like LeBron James. I'm down for it.
LeBron James.
If it gets me feeling like I can meet Bugs Bunny in a Warner Bros. World, I'm all for it.
LeBron James.
So, I know this is supposed to be the deep episode, but I have a deep-rooted hatred for Space Jam 2, and it hasn't even come out yet. I really do.
I feel you.
I loved the original, and I feel like this is kind of a bastardization of the original movie.
Yeah.
A shit plot.
Shit plot, and well, that's it. Mainly, it's literally just like, what's the movie? It's like Ready Player One, I guess, or like Transformers, where it's just like a bunch of fucking advertisements. And Warner Bros. is
so bad.
No, I mean like Warner Bros. Is just like, hey, check out all the shit we own, and check out the celebrity we were able to get on this film. And then it's just like there's no story, there's no drive, there's no passion. With Michael Jordan, I was like, damn, I feel it right now. And then there was like an actual, like, there was a world building element. With this one, it's just like, hey, check out all this shit that looks cool. It's like, what do I feel out of this? We know his son isn't gonna like fucking die or whatever. His son gets like kidnapped and taken to the Toon World or whatever the fuck. He's not gonna be just like gone forever. You know? Sorry, this is bullshit. It's hot in this room, so I'm even dumber than usual. So.
You gotta play me in basketball to get out. Your son.
Oh no. Whatever shall I do? Not me, LeBron James, basically king of basketball. Oh fuck. A challenger? What's gonna happen next? Anyway.
You guys seen the Mortal Kombat trailer?
Yes.
Yeah.
That looks sick as frick.
That one.
It actually does look good for once.
Yeah, redemption arc, considering the original.
It was the originals. They were their own kind of good. Okay.
The first one was
It was crunchy.
The first one was like a staple of time. The second one I've heard nothing but bad things about. It's like the Room of video game movies.
Yep.
All right. So what's up?
So where should we start?
Yeah, what's going on? What you feeling?
Well, I've got a question, like a little icebreaker type of thing, if you want to get into it.
Yeah, let's go.
Just right now. But so we are assuming this is like the deep episode, right?
Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Just go for it.
If your 8-year-old self saw you now, what do you think they would think? Would they be proud of you?
I think of this all the time.
Yeah. Because I saw this quote the other day that was like, at the end of the day, when your life's over, the only two people that you need to make proud of you is your 8-year-old self and your 80-year-old self. And I was like, dang, that's some deep stuff. Of course, I'm not 80 yet, but I know that I have been 8, and I remember what happened then, kind of. So, like, what do I think, you know?
Well, I don't remember my 8-year-old self.
What grade even was it? What
Second
grade
grade.
were we in? Second grade?
Well, it doesn't specifically have to be 8. I just mean, like, if a younger version of you saw
Younger.
who you are now, what would they think? It can even be, like, high school, dude. life has changed dramatically in the last 4 years. So
That is fair.
You know, I think they actually would be proud.
I agree.
Or I guess I don't think proud would be the right word. I guess it would just be more they would like. I guess admire me, just like be excited. Is like that's what I turn into.
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah.
But just like if they know me from the outside, but still, that's
Yeah.
good enough in my books.
Yeah, I feel like freshman me for sure. If I were to kind of explain a couple things, a couple like major plot points in the Geb lore, I feel like he'd be pretty. I feel like he'd be
You
pretty.
only your life as lore? What are you doing?
I
He's
feel like
really talking about his personal life tab on his Wikipedia page right now.
No, we're just on
Geb
this
has just recently
crazy
begun
wacky world known as Geb's lore.
He's begun the Des Moines, Iowa arc.
Goddamn, waking up like Des Moines air
You
fucking
gotta wake
day.
up like Des Moines.
I interrupted you, Gab. Go back.
Yeah, no, fuck, I completely forgot where I was going. Yeah, no, so I think, I feel like a younger version of myself would be very happy. Maybe not happy, like, all the way. Maybe it's like, man, you should have done some things differently. I would have done those things differently. And it's like, you're probably right, but also, I'm you, so... But then,
Exactly.
yeah.
You
But,
You can say all the crap you want. You won't do anything different. You're
talk shit and get hit by me, motherfucker. But yeah, no, I feel like my past self would be pretty content with how I am right now. Of course, like, still like a couple things that probably would have been or shoulda, coulda, woulda, but like that's how it is with everyone. I feel like that's how it's going to be with everyone. That's like a universal constant: death, taxes, and possibility. So, like, I don't know. I feel like I'd probably be pretty okay with it. I'm okay with me, kinda. I'm getting there, but I feel like past me would be okay with me.
Yeah.
Meme. How about you, Jonah? How you feeling? What do you think about that?
I've thought about this a good bit. I don't know. I feel like I think what Neela was explaining about, like, they would be like, "Dang, that's what I turned into." I feel like I would have the same reaction, because like, if I think about what I thought I was going to turn out like that long ago, I am the complete like opposite, dude. So much has
Same.
changed. I would be like,
Yeah.
no way, like. You cut your hair because you wanted to? Like, you're not a doctor right now? What's going on? And I was like, just stuff like that. You're not an engineer? Just like,
Yeah, I think it's the
you're
little things that would
happy?
impress.
What the heck?
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's
it's the little things that would impress me the most.
yeah. You
Like,
wake
things
up
I
in
don't
the
even think about.
morning and you go to class.
You can
You
drive.
study. You
You
study.
take notes. You put effort in.
You're in college?
You're alive.
That's what mine would think. Right?
No,
What's
I
up?
think
I didn't make it.
I
thought
I don't.
Go for
Oh,
it. Sorry. The tiredness is kicking in. I gotta knock it out.
no, it's been kicking in since 7 p.m. for me.
You
and
need
it
a Coke
hasn't gone
coffee?
away.
I need Coke coffee.
Damn straight.
Yeah, I think, like Jonah said, it would be like, oh, you're actually like kind of social. You were able to speak publicly in front of
Yeah.
hundreds of people
Mhm.
and like do it well, and everyone really liked it. I mean, even to be fair, me 5 seconds before I did that speech would have thought the same thing. So like, also on a purely physical level, of course, I don't think I'm super attractive, but I still think like in the past I'd be like, dang, that's way better than what I expected.
Considering how ugly I think I used to be, I think the old me would think I'm hot now. So I think that kind
Same.
of balances out.
Same.
Glow up. We've all
It's like,
glowed
dang,
up.
he got a beard and flow now, and that
Yeah.
goes for both of us, Gab.
Absolutely, yeah. It looks a little weird right now. I'm still trying to get it to work. You can't see my eyes at all from this
You
angle.
look somewhat emo.
But don't talk to me.
Dude, I got one about the topic that I just thought of. Like,
Well,
me
no,
from
hold
the
on.
past.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
go ahead, Brendan.
No.
Brendan, go. Oh, wait, are you going?
Were you about to start a new
Oh, my.
topic, or?
No. I was about to elaborate because I thought
Okay.
something. So I think me from the past would like I was incredibly closed off, dude. Like to everyone, and I
Yeah.
I'm not. I don't know. I'm not saying if I'm incorrect, please tell me. But I would think of myself now as a pretty open person about my like problems and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I understand that like my problems can also be problems that other people are dealing with, and the way I deal with them can be advice and all that kind of stuff. But like, there's no way that I could have ever seen that coming, dude. I was like, I didn't tell anyone what's going on in my life. I didn't do anything. I didn't have close friends. I didn't see I did have close friends, but this is a different level, dude.
Didn't have close friends.
This is a different level. This is insane.
Yeah.
We all live very far apart from each other. I was not planning to stay this close with you guys, dude. We all sent that meme, and it was like me and the homies going our different directions, and I'll be like, yeah. And now we're sitting here making a podcast.
I'd say the thing about being open is that it just helps in that, because I was also very close.
Same.
Incredibly so.
Yeah.
And just like saying what my problems are, even if I don't get advice to them, it just helps just because I'm essentially saying to myself that, yes, this issue does exist. Because if I wasn't open, I would just bottle that shit up. I was like, nah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But just like putting it out in the open, I'm just like, this is a thing. It matters. And you got it.
Yeah.
What do you think, Brandon?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh,
Here, we'll
Go
come
ahead,
back to that
Joe.
elaboration.
Go ahead. No, go ahead, Nilo.
All right.
No, I was just gonna go back to the like actual topic, which is that because it was like how our younger self would think of us now, and I think this is very specific, but I think most iterations of me would be impressed with me. But I think specifically in the period of late sophomore year to early junior year, that version of me might think that I'm a loser.
I feel the same way about my like mid to late junior year me.
Because that was the time where, I mean, past elementary school, that was the time where like my happiness and my naivety intersected the most. So that's where I was just like happy, but also in like kind of a stupid way where I wasn't realistic about a lot of stuff. And now I think of myself as like a pretty realistic guy in like my beliefs about generally the world and like the future and stuff. Back then I was a little too idealistic. So I think that version of me seeing they would think I'd like given up my ideals. I was like, oh, he just became like everybody else. But like I think of it being realistic is a good thing a lot of the time. And I don't think that version that me in that time period was in a state of mind where I could accept like the gray area of life pretty much.
Mm.
That sounds pretty vague.
I think I get what you're saying. But I do want to...
I was
okay.
I was just too optimistic.
I do kind of want to come back to one thing you mentioned in there. But yeah, Brendan, I feel bad. Give your input. What's up?
Yeah.
He's had plenty of time to think.
All right, so I don't know. I would say there are like some things that is like, oh yo, that's so fucking. That my younger self would be like, oh, that's awesome that we did this, or like that we have this. But I know like this past like year or so, that's felt like 10. Or some of the things I've done is like equal to like those things that like my younger selves or past selves would like be proud of or like think are cool. I think there's also like equally some things that could never have planned for, or is like, damn, you really fucked up. What the fuck were you thinking? It's like, we said we were gonna do this, but what the fuck happened? You know?
You drinking those gamer subs?
I feel the exact not about gamer subs, but I feel the exact same way about like that kind of context.
Yeah, but
Gamer subs is wrong. You shouldn't drink them.
The devil's energy.
My fifth grade dare counselor told me not to try gamer subs.
You're drinking the devil's energy.
exactly. That is, those gamer subs are a great example of that. You know, even as far as like now is like looking at how I'm operating is like definitely, I think, not as organized as I was before, but I'm definitely getting better. But it's just going with that has been a change in mindset and how I view things. And I feel happier about that. No matter what the fuck my younger selves say.
Damn straight. That's what's up.
Because like, we've been through a pandemic, we've been through other shit.
2 economic recessions.
Yeah, that my younger self would never have planned for or knew would happen. So it's like all these expectations at that age is like, I'm now realizing they were never realistic or really like, they were just dumb little thoughts, I guess.
It's a good way to put it.
Well, I just realized our younger selves would be like, "You survived a pandemic?"
Yeah.
It's like, that's right, young man, I did. I even
And you will
contributed to the
too.
political takeover of the government in the year of the pandemic.
Yes, you will survive 2 recessions.
You've made it through one of them, depending on which version of you I'm talking to.
They'd be like, "Yo, you got to sit inside and play Minecraft until the sun came up for like months at a time." We're like,
And then
yeah,
I'd start
it
sobbing.
was very fun, and I wish I was back in school. And they'd be like, "No, you don't."
I was
I'd be
just
like,
younger,
"Yeah,
and then a
fine."
little bit older is like, what the fuck were you doing? Sitting inside playing Minecraft all day? You could have been doing anything else. What the hell were
Could
you
have been
doing?
going outside and playing Minecraft all day.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry, I made up for it by studying in college and like actually studying.
I'm gonna try something. Hold up. Nothing's wrong. Everything's fine.
I think my younger self, my early younger self, would be like, what the hell are you doing in college? You're not doing shit. What are you doing?
Yeah.
I thought we were gonna study and shit. What are we doing?
I think I came up with a better clarification for what I was trying to say about me and junior year probably not liking me too much. And it's that I was at such a point in that point in time, my state of mind, I was so young and dumb and naive but happy that I wasn't prepared to enough to realize that I could go through bad times in my life fault because of a bad choice I made. And so they would probably look at me and see me as the guy who made those bad choices, despite the fact that he was the guy about to make those choices. The guy now wouldn't make those choices, but the guy back then did because he.
But in order to become the guy you are now, who wouldn't make those choices, you had to make those choices. So like,
Indeed.
the beauty lies in the mistakes, dude.
See, that's a really good argument. Until I get to the points where I regret who I am right now because of those choices, and then it's hard. That's a solid argument until I start questioning it, you know?
But you're also self-conscious and smart enough to be able to like critique yourself, you know?
Yeah, you're self-aware now.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
right.
that's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll ask a. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I guess like you're right, and at this point, I've gained the experience to know like how to go about that kind of thing in the future, or like those kind of things that I regret now. It's like I know how to handle it in the future if
Yeah.
I'm, like confronted with another like similar scenario. I know what I did wrong last time. I know where to not go wrong for the next time. You know,
Mhm.
whether
least
it's a
we hope.
conversation or God, don't scare me like that.
I'm going to ask a. I'll ask a related question. If you had the option to go back in time and change events in your life, would you do it? And if so, how much would you change? Knowing that whatever you changed would change your personality now and like who you are now and what happened to you.
I would change one thing, but if anyone else has any, go for it.
You got it, Jonah.
You go ahead. I need time to think.
Yeah, the biggest thing I would change is like I would. This isn't any like incredible. This isn't any events that happened that would change the outcome or anything. I would just go back and like spend way more time like practicing, studying, and building a work ethic. Because I spent way too much time like sitting around, sitting on my phone. Because I was not expecting like when I got here, dude. My first semester kicked my butt so hard because like I was the guy that coasted through high school on like 30 minutes a week of practicing because like I'm just the guy that was good, and you get here and like everyone was that guy and it's just, oh, these people practice 8 hours a day and then they go home and they study for the next like 17 hours and then they sleep like 30 minutes and then do it all over the next day while I'm just sitting here watching Netflix. Like I wish I could go back and work that work ethic up so that I wouldn't be so like culture shocked when I got here. But that being said, we are here now, so it's
Right,
all
of
good.
course. Yeah, and
But that's the biggest thing that I would go back and just be like, dang.
Yeah. That whole idea of us being like where we are right now, I'd like to think that I don't really want that to change. Whether I have regrets about my past or whatever, I don't really want who I am right now to change. I just want to get better from this point on. From those
Yeah.
mistakes onward, I'd like to improve, and I'd like to think that I am improving. Even if I feel at times like I'm not, I think in the general scheme of things, rather,
Themes of schemes, themes of things.
themes
of
like
schemes.
these,
Schemes like these.
schemes like these. But in the general scheme of things, I'd like to think that I fucking did again.
Just go ahead.
Universally, I'd like to think I'm getting better.
You are.
Yeah.
But
You are.
I totally do agree with that whole like work ethic thing. There was early high school when I first made my YouTube channel. I had really wanted to work on it and really wanted to be, do it. But I was also encouraged by a group of people who I no longer speak to for good reason. But like, they wanted me to do this channel, and it felt like I was doing it more for them instead of for me. I'd make these videos, I'd do what I could to edit, but then I'd always feel this feeling in the back of my head of like, I'm doing this for this group of people, and it's not really like, it's fun, I'm having a good time, but is this really what I want to do? And then as time went on, I kind of just fell off that YouTube channel for a bit. I still have it, I still upload, of course, but like, when it was around like maybe freshman or sophomore year, I had started and then basically immediately stopped and just took a break, and I was like, I want to finish school, then I can think about content creation. And I finished school, and I realized that I hadn't thought about content creation at all, except for the fact that I was thinking about how much time I was wasting by not trying to make something useful out of the time I was wasting.
Yes.
So, like, I could easily, I'd like to say that, I don't want to sound like, privileged or whatever, but where I am right now, with the opportunity to record and make a video, or to stream and have that go live, and it's just me playing video games, I feel like that's a much easier kind of way of life, way of doing things, compared to because like that's still just, it's still wasting time to in the eyes of some. I could be, studying to my heart's content. I could be focusing on coding. I could be focusing on my major, but I'm focusing on this content creation. But I wish I would have had a better drive back then, so I would have recognized, like, if you're going to be playing a video game, it's good to have leisure out of it. Don't get me wrong. I watched a good video earlier today by someone named Emplemon, who was talking about how, like, playing games for leisure has kind of died off since video games are being taken as a serious business now through that kind of recording and streaming. But I wish I would have found a better way to balance that kind of leisure and work ethic, so I would have had a better understanding of it when I got here. So I could better implement it with this free time, this open schedule, this open room, this probably arguably pissed off building. But, it's still a lot of opportunity that I feel like I haven't been able to act upon yet, that I'm trying to figure out how to now, when I should have figured out several years ago so I could manage it better now.
Yeah, like, I that completely goes along with, like, what I was saying, because I was kind of saying, like, if this is who I'm going to be right now and this is what I'm going to, like, end up doing for the rest of my life, I wish I knew that going back so I could spend more time, like, preparing for it.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be really cool if we were in elementary or middle school or something, and they just kind of showed, like, this is who you're going to be in 50 years, get ready, or they just, like, show you, like, this is you, this is what you're going to do, this is your job. They just kind of, like, determine it for you. But, like, but then if that happened, we, being our rebellious selves, would not want to become that person.
Exactly.
We become other people.
Yeah.
We'd be motivated to do something.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah. Hell, I mean, Jonah, you were just saying earlier, like, your past self would have been like, what, you're not a doctor? But I mean, if your past self had that idea of being a doctor, there was something up to this point that gave you the idea of, I do not want to be a doctor anymore. I want to go into the music field. So if you would have been told you're going to be a musician when you grow up, then maybe you would have just stuck with the doctor thing, It's, again, like, back to the whole butterfly effect. So it's hard to tell. But it's entirely possible that could have happened.
Well, I don't think anyone would like the idea. It's like knowing this is what you're going to turn into and there's no stopping.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah. It is inevitable.
Yeah.
Because, like, the future being unknown is already kind of terrifying. But I feel like it would be arguably scarier if the future was guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because then we wouldn't have free will. We couldn't make our own choices.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You would just kind of be like robots, puppets, just move around.
Because depending on, your theory of time travel or, like, how that would work or whatever the fuck, we could get into a whole different conversation. At least I know I could. But let's say it's,
I could too.
that linear kind of time travel effect. Future you sees past you, says, hey, I'm you, this is how you're going to be. You can't stop that. That would mean future you would already know that you, in the past, would do everything you could to change that, but you would, like, no matter what, guaranteed end up being that future you. Every move, every action that you would take, every choice you would make would be, at that point, determined as destiny. What?
What's so funny?
He started quoting this song. He said, every move you make, every breath you take.
I'll
be watching you.
I wasn't quoting the song. I was trying to be fucking big brain about it.
Solid plug. You got it.
I didn't say every breath you take.
You're welcome to.
You didn't have to.
All right, fine.
He said every move you make, every step you take.
But regardless of the police, regardless of fucking, I forgot his name. Anyway,
yeah,
Sting. That's his fucking name.
Sting,
regardless of Sting, yeah. Like, every moment of your life from that point on would be already determined because that future self told you that it would be. That future self wouldn't, they wouldn't directly say it, probably, unless you're just like a dick, but, like, seeing that version of you, would then imply any alteration of current you will, no matter what, lead to that future you. So it's weird to think about, you know?
Fun to think about.
It is. I love it
But
so
at the
much.
same time, I know that like future me is gonna look back at this me and be like, "Why are you spending so much time thinking about things that you have no control over?"
Yeah, shut the
Yeah.
fuck up and
then
move
I'll
on
be
to
like,
the next
"Shut
topic.
up! Shut up! You're me."
Hell, me editing this is gonna be like, bro, you talk way too fucking much when you have caffeine.
Of course, there's I would say the possibility is very low, but there is a possibility that we will get less wise when we're older. As 2020
Yeah,
has
what if
proven.
this is our peak, dude?
2020
Oh,
has proven there's a lot of people who have become very unwise with age.
Screw those people.
Dude, get
Those people aren't you.
oh,
I
They
know.
don't matter.
that's fair.
My brain is more wrinkly than theirs.
More textured.
Textured.
yo, Geb.
Yeah, what's up?
The event we were planning on going to actually got canceled.
Really?
Yeah, she called it off. So
Because of... Do you know why?
because of all the outrage.
Not,
Oh,
not
really?
because of COVID, obviously.
Well, of
Yeah.
course, but... Wow. That...
Yeah. So should I just explain the story?
Go for it. Yeah, go for it. This is your
We've
thing.
already been
USA.
political on here before.
Yeah, Turning Point USA, super conservative organization. Not to say conservative versus liberal or socialist or whatever, but arguably their members are a little janky, a little janky, especially in COVID. And they were planning on having a rally at our school where they invited a controversial speaker who will not be named.
Hmm.
And me and Gab
Guess
being
you
the
watched
wise
the
people we
podcast.
are, after seeing we should invite her. After seeing all of the thousands of people screaming about it, complaining about it, all the outrage, all the death threats, the everything. Me and Gab being the wise people we were, said, "Hey, let's go to this thing." So we got some tickets, and
To be fair...
we got the conservative T-shirts, and we
Did you
Pay for those?
No, okay, so he's blowing it out of proportion. They were free tickets. He and his roommates called me and said, "Yo, are you busy this Monday at 7 p.m.?" And I was like, I don't know. I'm probably going to be, streaming or, eating or whatever. And he's like, "Do you know anything about Turning Point USA?" And I just stared dead at my phone and just started laughing and said, "Why, yes, Jonah. I know a hefty bit about Turning Point USA." And then one of his roommates in the back goes, "You want to join us to see a rally? Get yourself a free ticket?" And I was like,
I think
fuck
we
it.
should just refer to it as Toilet Paper USA from now.
But yeah, so after all of this outrage and everything, she canceled it. So she didn't. I think she gave it online or something. Like there was no one at the building. It was closed off. I think the main reason why I would have wanted to go if I wasn't so scared about it, because like it was scary, dude. Some of those people were screaming.
Yeah,
But, like,
I
the
would say
biggest-
people of our color would have good reason to be scared of those people.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Valid.
and like the biggest reason why I was like I'd want to is that I was talking to one of my friends about this, and he said it really well. He said that in order to hear the good ideas and understand the good ideas, we have to surround ourselves with the bad ideas. But in order to be able to distinguish those things, we have to listen to all the ideas. We can't just like filter
Yeah, of
through what
course.
goes through our frame of reference. So I think
Exactly.
that was pretty neato. And I was like, I want to hear some conservative garbage,
Yeah.
some anti-mask.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I-
and it's not even like oh, conservative, bad, liberal. It's because like this person again will not be named, but I don't know. You could probably do some research.
anti-Semite.
But anti-Semitic and a supporter of the white genocide theory.
And a very, very legal immigrant. Like
Yeah.
she is very against legal immigrants. I was like, all right, very against.
that was her cue.
Well,
very against that people are not white, dude.
time for
See,
me
here's
to
the thing,
stay the fuck in
is
my apartment.
They wouldn't be able to tell that I am not an immigrant technically because I was born here, but they wouldn't be
Yeah.
able to tell.
Exactly.
I'd
They
love
would
As you
care.
go up, you start speaking a different language.
I'd love to go up and like give her the sidewinder. Like you and I, if you and I were to go, you just like you just vibing the whole time, trying to have a good time, and I hit her with the sidewinder of like, oh yeah, so I'm a legal immigrant, by the way. How do you feel about this whole situation? just
I just wanted her autograph.
And I was like, yeah, oh yeah, I was born here, by the way.
I just really wanted that shirt.
Can
that
you
said,
sign my green card?
Yeah, exactly. I really wanted that shirt that said, what was it? It was like, I'd rather be a nut job conservative than a liberal without a job or nuts.
God, oh no!
Oh
Oh
no!
no.
Audio
Go
listen-
on,
okay,
go
we're
on.
good. We're good. Audio listeners, for a brief moment, Jonah spun, but we're good again.
Yeah. Have you guys? There's this video. I don't know how recent it is, but it popped up in my feed pretty recently of like these like parents at like a parent teacher, like big parent teacher conference in some school, and some like immigrant Mexican was talking about like how his son cries himself to sleep every night because he gets bullied, and some white dude in the background is like, why'd you leave Mexico?
Yeah.
And here's the thing: it's funny because the room looks like it's full of a bunch of Karens, but then you hear the like collective gasp of every single person in that room, and like look at him with like so much hatred in their eyes. Like, you need to
Yeah.
leave. What is wrong with you? And he's
Yeah, I had
like,
the video come up on my YouTube recommended
Yeah.
too.
yeah, because it's like he wasn't complaining about America. He's complaining about his son getting bullied.
Right.
Yeah, but he was like, he's complaining about being here. It is like, I mean, yeah, because there's this thing people do. I don't want to shit on conservatives too much because there's good people there.
Of course, yeah. No,
Sometimes.
this is not about It's not about politics. It's more about belief than political alignment.
Well, I guess both sides do this, but it's
Yeah.
where they don't give people the ability to feel bad about like their situation because they always point out like, but those people have it worse over there.
Yeah. Both sides do that for sure. Are you
It's-
fucking kidding?
Yeah, no. Yeah, both sides do that. It's like, oh, you're complaining about them not having those specific rights here, but they would get murdered in that country. And it's like, okay, but we're not in that country.
Yeah.
You're just invalidating other issues.
Am I like fat sideways right now?
Yes.
You're totally like 90 degrees right now.
Oh my god.
Audio listeners, I don't know what's going on, but half of our camera crew is apparently like passing out on the floor.
Don't worry about the shits.
Yours, okay, to be fair, Brendan, I don't know what you just did, but it looks significantly clearer now. In like earlier
does.
throughout
It
this
actually
recording,
does.
it was like I was seeing nothing but squares. But we're good. Oh, it's squares again.
For me, it's been fine the whole
Jonah
time.
Jonah caused the squares right there. Oh, it's
Jonah's the
squares
square
stand.
bringer.
He's the
I'm
It's
just
not
gonna be
meant to be
sideways for the
square.
rest of the thing, dude. That's gonna be so funny.
It's fine. Geb can edit you.
Oh my fuck.
Oh yeah. Ooh, look at me move,
Oh, yeah.
bro.
There's something
I don't-
there's something I wanted to bring up. And it's not super organic here, but I don't think I'll have a better time to bring it up. It's
Okay.
something to talk about. So there's this thing called the paradox of tolerance. It's based off like a theory or a book someone made up. I don't know. I don't remember his name. But here's basically how it goes. Let's say I'll make a dumb analogy. The analogy that I heard. And let's say there's like a bar saying it's open to everyone. And by everyone, it means like both sheep and wolves. Only wolves are going to come because the sheep know that the ones who go are going to die. So no sheep are going to go there, obviously. So replace wolves like Islamophobes and then the sheep with Muslims or just like racists and all people of color homophobes and all LGBT people, then in that case, despite there being the illusion of true tolerance to all parties, it is just an illusion, because there can be no true tolerance if those who are intolerant are tolerated. Because in that scenario, the intolerant will get their way. You get what I'm trying to say?
Well, that is a valid point, but and it's a good example to bring up the idea of like sheep and wolves, predator and prey. But the other part of that, I personally think, of course, I've never had experience with this, so I might sound like a complete cock and ball right now, but like my idea of it, if a bar is open to everyone, it has rules set in place. Like so if you're at home, if
Well,
at
there's
home,
a loose analogy.
well, of course, but like if at home you're a fucking like womanizing asshole, and then you try and go into a public setting and you end up a womanizing asshole, you're gonna get called out for it. Like, of course, a sheep bar full of wolves is not going to be opposed because there's no other party to oppose it. But if you have a bar open to everyone, every person, it's not discriminating at all, but you still have naturally a group of people coming in, you're gonna have people with the right sensibility to shut that shit down. Not the building, but the collective group.
The vibes.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not. Yeah, I wasn't trying to say that that's the situation now, because obviously
course,
things
of
are
course.
much better. Things are much better than they were several years ago. Because that analogy better fits like the Jim Crow era, separate but equal. Because
Right.
Yeah.
in that era, that's where that stuff was like legit happening. Where it's like, oh, you guys are all accepted, but not really. But that's just something I wanted to talk about, because I was interested by it when I read about it.
It is an interesting concept, but I feel like definitely it's more.
Yeah.
Of course, there are still huge issues, but I feel like that kind of situation, that analogy specifically, is a little bit more dated. But I could be totally wrong about that.
I wasn't thinking of it in the political climate of now. I was more thinking of it as like the idea that there is no such thing as true tolerance.
To be fair, I do agree with you on that. Because
that's the way I was looking at it.
Yeah. In the case of that analogy, it's hard for me because I'm thinking very literally right now, which is fucking stupid. I don't know why. I guess caffeine just makes me a fucking idiot. But in the case of, let's say,
he's on coke and caffeine.
He said, "How can there be sheep? How can there be sheep at a bar? They don't drink."
All right.
Okay, but too many gamer subs.
Oh my god. But I promise I have it. There's a can right behind me. Calm down. But but so like, if I see it more often, a gathering of people, like if there is like a school club, and it's like, we're here to bring everyone together. We're tolerant of all these people. And then one person shows up and is like, well, hey, I have these ideals. And they get shut down for it. Then it's like you're tolerant of those who you choose to be tolerant with. It becomes more of a situation of like selective toleration.
Yeah.
Which is not
you
how
tolerate
it should
those
be.
who align with your beliefs.
Yeah. The issue is because it becomes a problem of, since other people are intolerant, I will not tolerate those other people. But then there's a universal clash because there's no universal, like, constant. Because there's always at least one person who opposes the toleration of another person.
Yeah. Of course, I would say it is possible when you look at it objectively, when you like look at an intolerant person and think like he's like that because like I don't know, his parents messed up or something. Like he was taught the wrong values growing up, and he wasn't given an opportunity to learn the right way. But that's looking at it very objectively, which nobody with emotions would be able to look at it that way. Like truly, they can acknowledge it, but they wouldn't be able to live by that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very interesting scenario for sure. Because I've thought about that like before, that whole idea of like tolerance is only tolerating what you make it. You know, tolerance is what you make it, basically. So it's really weird to think about. Because it may be like fucked up to say, but if it's like one person wants to get rid of all these types of people, so in retaliation you think that's bad, so you want to get rid of all types of people that are like this one person, then it's the same kind of mindset, but you feel justified because you saw the original wrongness in this person's ideology, whereas they could see you as being just as wrong as you see them. So then just like everyone wants to shut down everyone.
Yeah.
But also, I think it's funny. Of course, like we don't actually do this, but I think in a very minuscule way, we actually do this because like we select our friends by those who nice. We select our friends by those who like share the same ideals and everything, right? You know, so that's I think it's just how we live as a social group. But it's the question is like when it gets extreme, you know.
Well, yeah, well, I mean, there's always going to be like collective, like there's always going to be grouping. There's always going to be cliques. There's always going to be like that, like shared similarities of like, you're my friend. We have thoughts. Friends, you know? Like, but if it comes to the point of that, like, major opposition, that's where there's kind of a fault in the idea of tolerance.
Mm-hmm.
I completely just spewed words there because I only like halfway paid attention. What? Sorry.
I have no idea.
You're good.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
We're all just living, dude. We all live.
We're all tired. Probably a bad time to bring it up considering our whole half-conscious state.
No. It's good that we're like talking about it, and I was good up until that one point. Everything just kind of like settled in. But so,
yeah.
Jonah, can you please repeat what you just said?
Like what I said earlier?
A few minutes ago, before I tried to be intellectual.
I was just kind of saying, like, you're talking about how we tolerate those who share the same ideals and beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of us.
To an extent.
But I think you also have to say, like, that's how we select our friends, you know? Or, like, that's how we figure out who we have things in common with, and those are the people that we, like, spend a lot of time around. So I'm wondering, where's the line drawn? You know,
between
because I think like between I'm not sure. I'm trying to say like I have no idea. I've completely lost my train of thought.
So
I'm trying to think like I think it just comes down to
So okay.
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
So you're saying like we select friends the same way cliques select members.
Yeah.
So where is the line drawn in the two extremes? Kinda,
yeah.
I thought you were trying to say like where's the line drawn? It's like to what extent are you going to tolerate someone like until how different their belief set is will you tolerate them?
And or more so like here's the thing, it's totally fine to tolerate. You should tolerate everyone, dude.
of course.
Not even tolerate, care about and love everyone. But I'm saying like I'm trying to think because part of me is like we also select our friends based off of those who share the same ideals. But at the same time, I have a lot of friends who don't share the same ideals as me. So what?
Yeah.
Why am I friends with those people? Like, how am I able to share my beliefs and they have their beliefs, but we still vibe on this connected level, even though we both think completely different things. And when it comes down to it, I think it's just because we're all growing as more understanding people, you know?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
so complicated.
Friendship is
No,
more than
it's-
just beliefs and tolerance.
Yeah, for sure.
Those beliefs.
And I wanted to say it earlier, like, when you were talking about, like, we select each other through beliefs, it's not only that, but we also have to give credit to the idea of how we act upon those beliefs, how we act upon other beliefs. If we're willing to be, if we're willing to agree to disagree and be open with each other and be open with new ideas, then yeah, it's easy to make friends that way. But if you're going to be naturally shut out my way or the highway, you're going to be seeing a lot more of the highway then. Because, people aren't always going to be sharing your same thoughts and opinions. And it's going to be hard to try and connect with people through that because you have to look for people in that specific range of they agree with this, they agree with this, they don't go outside of these lines. So
The words are learned with respect.
Yeah. Exactly. So, and
just because you have another beliefs than mine doesn't mean I can't respect you.
Yeah, exactly. Because you still respect them being a good person, whether or not their beliefs are yours. Your beliefs are not always good beliefs. They're just beliefs.
Yeah.
There's no universal, constant of good or bad beliefs because everyone thinks their own beliefs are good. Everyone is justified in their own point of view. Everyone has a reason for doing everything, whether it's just that's what they feel is right or that's what they like to do or whatever. So it's a matter of if we're all able to kind of connect in the idea of understanding each other instead of just stubbornly clashing with one another.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a big issue back in the day for me, is I wasn't understanding enough where other people came from. Because I brought up how my sophomore/junior year me wouldn't approve of me, and that's another thing, is I wasn't the most understanding person back then because I didn't interact with too many people with a super different mindset from me and how to approach life. And what I did, I didn't understand enough, and I won't go as far to say I didn't accept them, but I just didn't give it enough of a chance to really think if it was a good way to live and whether I respected that sort of thing, which I do in most situations.
It's
Now,
yeah, it's good that you bring that up because looking back on it now, I feel like I had a similar but still different kind of upbringing because I would have, good beliefs instilled by family, of course. But then the groups I was with at the time, again, kind of relating back to that. And I don't want to, I don't want it to sound like I'm shit talking anyone if I talk about previous groups because they're all, I value every moment I spent with them and I thank them for helping me become who I am now. Even if I don't talk to them anymore, it's still, I am thankful that I used to.
like Ariana Grande, thank you next.
Sure, dude. But so I didn't really have I kind of didn't have many opportunities to interact with other groups. So if I would interact with one group for the most part, but their ideals were, kind of different than mine, I would be, in the minority because I was the one person in that group with different beliefs, but then I would be around them the whole time and I'm like, okay, well maybe this isn't as bad as everyone else kind of made it out to be. Now that I'm seeing new perspective, maybe it's okay. But it wasn't really always the most okay thing. That was good in some parts, really bad in other parts, but that's water under the bridge. That's back in the past now. But it's still, I didn't have that opportunity to hear both sides of an argument. I didn't have that understanding of people's perspectives. If we were to talk to someone or talk about someone, I wouldn't hear from that someone half the time. I'd hear from the people I'd always been around. Or if I were to hear about a situation, I wouldn't hear about someone else's input on a situation. I'd hear about my one group's input on a situation. I was, social, but at the same time, I was very, very isolated. And I feel much better about things now because I feel like I have more of an opportunity to grow and understand other people's perspectives. That's been really cool for me.
What are your thoughts, Brendan?
Oh no. I'm just trying to fit everything because it's like I'm half conscious, so I'm trying to just understand everything.
Get some of that gamer stuff.
And yeah. um oh, I think the whole general thing is just that it's important that we understand that everyone's thoughts and feelings or values are valid. And then it's just once where everything gets messy is everyone's interpretations of the other person's. And that
Yeah.
after going after that we lose the process of respect from before. So then that idea that we had of like, oh, their thoughts are valid or this and that, it's like we lose that once we're trying to fill in our own values. So then shit, I'm losing it. Hold up. I don't know, because it's like there's also the arguments like because you can say like everyone's valid is like, but then like someone always brings like the extreme, and even in those extremes, we see them as evil or whatever, or like it has caused problems or trauma to so many people. But it's also important to realize that it's more so to understand than just like saying that it's evil or that it's caused this problem. It still needs to say somewhat of the same level of respect or understanding any other view or ideology.
Brandon going ham, bro.
Damn straight.
This is so fun. What time are we at right now?
So, time counting is a little weird for this one. Because
we fucked up a lot at the start.
Yeah, so we had that huge fucky wucky, like, chunk in the beginning, but I never started a new recording. So I think I actually started the intro at about 28 minutes, and we're now at 127.
Okay.
So we still got like at least 30 minutes.
Yeah, so we're good.
Yeah.
I'll make sure to file stuff down, work my magic because of course.
Yeah. I just
need a second water, so hang on.
It's definitely very nice to be with people who you agree with and who validate your beliefs. But I don't think it's a good idea. Like we've been saying, just get caught in like a bubble or a vacuum. I was having a bunch of people around you who all believe the same thing.
Yeah.
Like I've always thought, and my dad thinks the same thing, that like with the government, it's split into 3 branches. Or I get specifically in this scenario when it comes to political control over the presidency, the Senate, and the House. And generally, I don't think it's a good idea to have one party control all of them because that just completely shuts out the values of the other party.
Totally
this
agree.
year was kind of an exception because of how fucky-wucky stuff was last year. But generally, I don't think it's a good idea to just have one party in complete control of everything.
Now, I do want to bring up a possibility. Everything was so fucky-wucky last time, but now that everything's under the opposite control, do you think it's possible that things could get fucky-wucky on the other degree of the kind of spectrum? Or do you think that's not really a huge deal?
Do you mean like the government swinging all the way to the other political party?
Yeah, do you feel like that will be too like brash of a too harsh of a movement, too harsh of a shift? Or do you think it's kind of like
I
an
do
exception
think
here?
it is. That's a very nuanced thing because it's definitely possible because I don't think the anger of the people who lost, I don't think that'll go away by the time this 4 years up. And
No.
assuming, even if Trump somehow doesn't, even if Trump like, because he's an old guy, even if he doesn't like survive the next 4 years, I know it's kind of a member of his family will, and all support will be shifted to like one of his sons. So in that case, whenever this term of Biden is up, regardless, there will all the support will still be there. Most of it. I know a lot of people will turn once like they realize Q is wrong, like doesn't exist,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. But there will still be a lot of conflict in the next few elections. Demographically speaking, I would say with the generations being born, there are more Democrats in the people growing up than there are Republicans. And I think that's how it's going to continue. So demographically speaking, I do think a lot of things will shift to the left, objectively speaking, when you look at the population. However, I am aware both sides have people of very extreme values who are
Yes.
willing to do a lot to get their values into the government. So it is, I've been rambling, but it is possible that it could swing the other way. But when you think of how wild it's been and how things really are calming down on the inside, but objectively, when you look at the demographics, it isn't super likely. At the very least, like they won't get control over everything like the Democrats did this year.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, shit.
But no, it will. Every election for the next few elections will be scary.
Now, um, do you think things not really specifically like politically, because I noticed this with a lot of like again with that video I was watching earlier from Empleman talking about like video games. One of the things he brought up was like everyone's a critic, you know, and everyone's, you know, got these high expectations. So if everyone is a critic of like politically, socially, culturally, do you think things will ever kind of like return to a sense of everyone's just kind of okay? Or do you think we're kind of beyond that turning point?
Are you
Did
talking
not mean
about
to
like
make
the
that a
sense
pun,
of
by the way. Shut up.
the sense of toilet paper?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you mean like when are you talking about like unity of everyone in the US, like how divided we are? Is that what you're talking about?
Kinda. So, like, everyone has. It's always like free speech is a very important
Sorry.
thing. What's up?
I was thinking, I was wondering, is like you're going to ways like of sides, or is like there's always one side or the, and then the extreme side of that, or like
So
I don't know.
Are you trying to say like do you think there'll be a day the extreme sides will die down? And
Kind of the extreme like opinions, the extreme sense of criticism, because it always feels like we hear we never at this point it feels like we hear less about the praise of something than we hear about the criticism of something, you know, whether it's politically or with video games or with media or like with something in music or, you know, whatever is going on. We always hear about the criticism first, and the criticism the loudest. But how much is the praise covered? And how much will it be covered from this point forward?
I'll bring this up first. So there was this whole thing when Biden was first getting campaigning. It was, we've all heard it, settle for Biden, where so many people didn't legitimately support him. They just didn't want Trump back. So and honestly, I was part of that group. Still, I'm pretty much. But basically, what I was happy about is when Biden did get the presidency, is that the people, a lot of people who voted for him, still were willing to criticize any wrong moves he made, like when he bombed Syria, that kind of stuff. Because the last 4 years before that, we had a president where, yes, he wasn't criticized an incredible amount.
Yeah.
But his base of supporters had unwavering support. They were not willing to criticize a single thing about him. And now here we have a president where we are willing to criticize. So that's looking criticism in a positive way for the good that it can do, in that we are willing to still stand up for what we believe is right and not fall under a cult, pretty much. But I think, because Biden has also been praised, like his vaccine rollout has actually been pretty good. It's moved a lot faster than I expected, because I did not expect to get vaccinated for another month, at least. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, that's another difficult question, because the liberal side is full of a lot more critiques, generally speaking. At least we're more infamous for it because of cancel culture and stuff. So if Democrats are going to slowly become grow more than Republicans demographically, then there's a chance that side will grow more of extreme criticism. But also, I think if America is able to get over this divide, which will take a long time, it'll take several, maybe even decades, if I'm being honest. But if America is able to get over that divide, I believe, which I do believe is possible, I believe that a lot of that criticism will be able to go away, because I also believe that for the divide to go away, a lot of problems that everyone has been screaming about will have to be solved in one way or another. But also, a lot of those problems are very difficult to solve because there is no right answer to them. This is all a bunch of vague bullshit, because there is no right answer to this question that you asked. And
Yeah.
I'm not really
it's hard to have
a right answer.
Yeah, I know you're not looking for it's hard to have an even opinion on it, because there's so many factors in play. I would hope so. Is what I'm saying. I am hopeful that a lot of the critique will go down, but for that to happen, America would have to be less divided overall, which isn't going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, I'd say it's yeah. Go for it.
Well, all you say is I would agree in a sense. I'd say, I think over time there's gonna be small wins and everything, but as far as a whole, I think that's gonna take a while, over time slowly, or at least something big gonna have to happen, or this big another life-shattering event. I would say.
Yeah.
Something to balance everything out.
Whoa.
Go on.
Whoa. Everyone good? What the fuck just happened?
That was strange.
I don't know.
I saw it too.
Is this one fucking up?
Well, the show go on.
Everything flickered.
The fuck just happened?
Yeah.
We're still
I thought it was going to
recording.
crash again.
We're still recording.
Okay.
I think we're okay. I think Discord is like struggling
Yeah, it was-
tonight.
That was
Yeah.
Discord, yeah.
I've never crashed before. This is the first time I've ever crashed.
Discord hates
Earlier.
all of us tonight, bro. Especially me.
guess.
Yeah, of course, it also depends on how these quote unquote solutions to the problems that everyone is talking about turn up.
Mhm.
Because naturally,
Because also-
I
No, sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm a liberal, but the thing is, I'm not very. It's hard to predict how a lot of the solutions that liberals are coming up with will actually pan out because there's a lot of like socialist ideals, and while ideally they will work out, because if every human being in the world was a just moral human being, then it would work out. But of course, there's no truly telling whether or not stuff will pan out in a positive way.
Yeah.
So say like if socialist ideals were implemented and it turns out really badly, there will be a big resurgence in the other direction, and there will be a lot of stubborn liberals who don't want to give up their ideals. And so then the critiques will begin anew, but in the other direction, and then it'll just be a cycle.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Good job for that. But yeah,
Audio
also-
says Jonah's
also-
back. Anyway.
Sorry, Brent.
also it's also criticism in general, like seeing like the negative before the positive. I think
Yeah.
that's like that's a general. I would say that's as a whole a big struggle as far as viewing any kind of news or anything happening. Which what I was saying is like it's gonna take a big shift or something like that. Shit, I got distracted with Jonah fixing his shit.
He fixed it and
Like
immediately it died again.
Yeah.
You brought up
Oh, is it
small
gone?
victories.
It's
Brandon,
gone. Yeah.
And he had his small victory.
Yeah.
Brandon was.
And it's fucked.
All right, I think we just need to hit one strong point and just call it a night, dude.
Yeah.
So
The thing
anyone got
is,
any like mind blowing?
with
Yeah.
critique of the politics is there's always going to be issues in this country, and I think steps should always be taken to at least attempted to improve those issues. But a big thing, the reason why there was so much critique is that the U.S. just kind of ignored a lot of issues and just pretended like we were the best country in the world, and used that as an excuse to ignore a lot of problems.
Yeah, see, that's the thing I was going to say. Like, if there's another kind of universal equalizer or whatever, some major event that's supposed to kind of bring everyone together, it has to be something that can't be ignored. It has to be something that people can't be like, oh, the fucking, the invaders of the country don't exist. We simply let them in. Or, like...
The pedophile ring made this happen. This isn't real.
Yeah, like... It can't be denied as easily as COVID was.
Yes.
This was a disease that changed, whether it changed the world or simply changed chunks of the world. That's open to interpretation, I suppose. But it has to be something where it changes the world enough to where we can all agree that we need to get this taken care of, and it can't be avoided, because there will be grave consequence if we do avoid it.
I just think, because generally, I've said this before, but it was a while ago, where I'm at a point in my life. I do think things have gotten a little bit. I'm in a little better, but I'm in a point in my life where I actively try to be more positive than most that I ever have. But it is also the time where it is easiest for me to just passively be negative about everything.
Yeah.
So there's that big conflict, because like I'm trying to be more compassionate and like care about people, but I also think like so many of these people are people who just haven't given a shit about like the thousands upon thousands of deaths that COVID has caused.
Mm-hmm.
Is it? I don't know, just like, admittedly, there were times where I did not wear my mask where I should have. But I mean, I fixed that. But a lot of other people in the U.S. just never gave a fuck throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
Because you'll have
With that,
photos
also,
of,
sorry,
you'll have
I was
photos
just
of like back in like the Hong Kong protests where everyone's wearing like giant like gas masks.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, in the U.S., nobody cares.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's all I had.
I was going to just say it's like also part. I think part of that is also just that for some people, it's not completely just not caring, but also that it's so hard to comprehend just those numbers because it's like for some people it's just a number, or it's like there's so many like things for like some people that is like they may not be or like have like experienced so like other views or like seen that, and like for them it's like, oh, it's just conspiracy theories, or it's like there's so many other things that have more easily persuaded them to not care.
Yeah.
That is not always
like
just like, oh, they know and they don't give a fuck. Because I mean there are probably people like that, they just
Yeah,
don't give a fuck.
with something like 9/11, even for the people who like it's an inside job, nobody
Mhm.
ignores like the deaths. Like everyone respects it.
Yeah.
But here we had a situation where there's literally a 9/11 worth of deaths every single day. So I can understand why it was difficult to comprehend, like you said.
Yeah.
I have something else to say. Shit. Fuck. No. It's just we're the only country where it was ignored on this scale.
Yeah.
It's very to this day. It's very infuriating.
Mm.
Because I think it comes down to people not giving a fuck unless it directly affects them.
Hmm. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's going back to that kind of like that whole divide idea. It's this weird sense of superiority. You know, like holier than
Yes.
thou. This will not be a problem for me because nothing has been a problem for me before, and I don't need to worry about it. But then suddenly it's a problem, and they're like, "Oh fuck, I should have taken care of this before I let it be a problem." And it's like, well, that's what everyone else was trying to do. So why are you doing it now? You know,
Yeah.
it's a weird thing, and it's totally fine if you want to, question the legitimacy of a vaccine. If you want to question the efficiency of a mask, that's fine. That you are entirely, there is nothing wrong with doing that. But if you're going to not seek answers and also not seek like the betterness of people as a whole, you're part of the problem. If it's this idea of like, oh, we don't know what's going to be in those vaccines. This is a recent development. So these vaccines, they're going to, I'm going to get a stick in my arm, but then I got to keep my mask on and I got to stay isolated anyways. Well, it's like, yeah, cuz not everyone has the vaccine yet. People are still at risk of exposure. You just don't know who. And you shouldn't have to know who's at risk. You should just assume. It's like assuming every firearm you pick up is loaded. You don't pick up just any, like, if you were to find, if there's a story or something on Reddit or whatever the fuck, like these two kids go into their dad's closet and they find like a gun on his gun rack and they're like, whoa, look at this thing. And then the one kid is like, hey, don't point it at me, man, that's really scary. And then the other kid that has the gun in his hand is like, relax, it's not loaded, see, look. And then he shoots the gun at the floor and blows a hole in the floor, and then they're both like scared the fuck out. That's a rule of gun handling, is always assume every firearm is loaded, and even if it's not, don't fucking point it at anyone, because something could go wrong.
Yeah.
It's like always assume
Exactly.
that everyone is like everyone could die. Always assume that someone could die from this disease, and even if they can't, don't abuse that knowledge. Don't abuse that sense of safety, because not everyone has that.
Yeah. All the people I see in person these days are pretty young people. So I'm not scared of any of them dying. But I don't know if any of them are like gonna go visit their grandparents or stuff, or like
Yeah.
see like people more susceptible. And like there's also people arguing like I'm vaccinated, so why should I have to wear a mask? I'm already safe. And it's so
You can still-
frustrating that people to this day don't realize that masks are primarily to protect the people around you, not protect yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A self-centered society, dude.
I know.
Like,
Why do I gotta wear
it's so
this
hard.
face diaper? It's like, there's good reason.
I know.
So you don't shit on the floor.
damn.
Yeah, like you can still carry it if you're vaccinated and spread it to someone else.
Yeah.
And like it's not even like a sense of compassion. It can even be like just a sense of respect to the general people you are around, that you do not want to get them sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
However, on a positive note, for once, it is super impressive that they managed to roll out vaccines in a year.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so much faster than I thought. Like,
I know.
it's crazy.
It's like
Yeah.
they said early on, like, will soonest we can have it is like in January of 2021. And I was like, oh, that's best case scenario.
Yeah.
And then we got it like that. I mean, it wasn't available to the public, but they had them prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Neil, you got it, right?
Yeah, I got my first dose.
Oh, are there two?
Yeah, I got Pfizer.
Oh, sick. Okay. Do you have any like side effects?
No, just my shoulder hurt for a bit.
Same.
Yeah, I know quite a few people who got the Johnson & Johnson one who basically had COVID for a day as their side effect.
Someone just texted me that just got the Johnson & Johnson today and is currently on a very high fever. But I mean, that happens after the second dose of all the other things. It's just how it works.
Yeah.
And have you gotten your second dose yet?
No, I get it this weekend.
Yeah, I get mine in like 2 weeks. I think.
Hmm.
Exactly 2 weeks.
I'm
Well
planning
said.
on doing they do Johnson & Johnson here at the school, right, Jonah?
Yeah. You don't have to be scared of it, dude. It's all
Yeah,
good.
I'm not scared of it. I'm just like that whole I'm trying to find out a good point in my schedule where it would be good, like where it would be best for me to be like inactive for a day.
Yeah.
You know. Because
See, I
if
was
were
like
to-
pretty active.
My plan is just take it on a Friday and just rest Saturday.
Yeah.
And
My plan was to do
Vaccine
whatever
is a good
day
vaccine.
and time they give me and take it and get rid of all other plans I have around that
and
because it was the biggest priority.
if something happens, like people understand. What are they gonna do? Like, I have 104 fever. I can't come to class. Like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah. No, I
Well,
was
shoot.
just
go ahead.
so I was like, sorry, I have to skip the longest class of my week, but I'm busy preventing my own death and the deaths of others. Yeah, but I just think that you said self-centered society, which is we've gotten to a point. I'm not even looking at this like economically, like a socialist, but we've gotten to a point where our society is so individualist that people were wearing for a whole year were not willing to stay inside and watch Netflix all day and put a small piece of cloth on their mouth for the sake of others.
Yeah. Like
I've
it's,
lost so much hope for humanity. I've lost so much faith in humanity in the past year. That sounds like an emo kid, I'm aware, but legitimately though.
Sorry, I just wanted to do that again. Yeah, no, it's really weird. It's a really hard kind of situation to be put in. It's very. It's almost like self-nationalism, in a way. It's not considering the world around you. It's just. I mean, that's basically just what selfishness is. You know, just that self-centered society.
Nationalism.
Self-national. Yeah, I mean, basically, because the easiest thing I can think of, the easiest thing I can personally relate it to, or at least the first thing that I could relate it to, was a song. Of course, I gotta make it my fucking cringe ass boomer music again, but a song off my favorite Rush album called Territories, and a line of the chorus says, "The whole wide world, an endless universe, yet we keep looking through the eyeglass in reverse." And that was made in '85.
Yeah.
It's now 30
God damn.
like 36 years later, and it still applies.
Oh, that's such a good line. Jeez.
Yeah. There's a reason
Okay, right
why they're my favorite.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Yeah, don't quote it for me. Quote it for Neil
Yeah,
Peart.
I'm just joking. Is a reference to the.
Right, it's a callback.
We do that in the show.
We're funny sometimes.
Benene.
No.
Stop. No. Fuck, was it? Yeah, I guess once again I'll critique my own political party. Whenever COVID first came to America and like a large group of Democrats were like, "You're being xenophobic for cutting off travel to China." That was pretty stupid on our part. I wasn't part of that group when that did that, but that was pretty stupid.
Hmm.
But it all could have been taken care of so much better. But it not even because the government didn't roll out proper federal plans to take care of it, but because it had been stewing for a long time. Because the years before that, the mindset of the people had altered so much into such a more like selfish light that even if there was a good plan, this still would have happened.
Hmm. Well,
Dang,
You know
that
what?
was a doozy.
I have an idea. Quick,
What's up?
let's have a quick moment of silence for all the lives lost from COVID. All right.
what up?
Yeah. Sorry, it started. That was a little dark, but I thought it was.
No,
cool.
it's,
No,
it's appropriate.
that felt right.
Yeah.
The lives lost and the lives committed to preventing it. You know?
Yes.
So,
I could, as someone trying to go into the health professional field, I could not imagine having to work through this and see that much stuff happen in front of
Yeah.
me.
yeah.
Definitely.
It's probably really. I'm sure. God, it's overwhelming. I'm sure. Like, I can't even imagine it, let alone, like, see it actually happen, you know? You see a video or someone, actually going through it. It's like, shit. That's
Just a moment of respect for the lives lost, the lives of those who lost people, the lives of those traumatized by seeing all this stuff happen in person. And even the families ruined based on the differing opinions regarding the validity of this virus, which there's a large number of them, much larger than I expected.
Yeah. My my extended family got a little fucked up. So
yeah, technically mine too, but like not to that much of an extent.
Yeah, it's cool.
It still exists. But yeah, I'd say that's a good note to wrap this up on.
Yeah, holy shit.
Yeah.
This was.
Jeez.
That was a great. I feel good.
I feel really. I was, if I'm gonna be honest, I felt weird about the idea of doing a deeper kind of episode because everything else was so lighthearted. But honestly, that felt really good. This felt good. It felt like. It just felt comfortable. It felt right.
Yeah.
You know.
It was a messy start, but I think we got the landing.
it just took us a little bit, but we got it. We got back in our mojo.
The recovery was solid.
Yeah. So on that note, thank you everyone for joining us through the pandemic, through the politics, through whatever, through times like these. We hope that you'll
Check
all
out the
stick around.
platforms.
We hope that you'll drop a fat like on the. I can't say that with a straight face.
Slight lag. Smash the like button. And remember, what if Jesus was a toaster?
But
For every like, we'll administer a vaccine to someone.
but
Yo,
for
I
real,
got my vaccine in the dark alleyway. And my side effects.
Hey, I
are
saw
crazy.
someone giving someone else a vaccine underneath the bridge last night.
Thank you
It was
for
like
listening,
white
watching.
yeah, thanks for
Check
thanks
out the
again for
Spotify. Check out
Bro.
the socials.
I kept doing it.
Sorry.
Fuck, we've already done it like 3 times. Thanks. Times like these. Check us out on platforms that you want to hear us on or see us on, depending on where you're looking. To audio listeners, thank you especially. Big help. To video listeners, thanks. Of course, you helped us get this whole thing off the ground. So we will see you all
Sorry for having to look at us.
in the. Yeah, sorry for all the camera trouble we had this episode, but we'll get it figured out.
Highly
Probably
recommend listening to this one on Spotify.
I'll try. We'll figure stuff out. But
Stay safe.
thanks again. Stay safe, please. Love you all. Take care. You guys are amazing. Okay, hang on. I'm doing some last minute like level adjustments. So give me a minute.
Brian, I think you could still go up. I don't know if it's just me, but
Yeah, you could raise it a little bit. You're all good. You got plenty
yeah,
of
this
room
intro
for
kind of weak. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, it's Hell Week.
Well, to be
We
fair, I wasn't trying to make it an intro. I was trying to make it the cold open with the Coke thing, but I don't know.
Yeah, that too. Oh, that's what I meant, not the intro. The cold open kind of weak. We should start it over
Listen,
and
listen.
think
Give
of
it-
things to say.
Give it some time.
Hey,
Give it
hey,
some time.
hey.
It's natural.
We
It's
just record and we use what we use. That's all.
exactly.
It's
It's natural.
You're right.
This whole thing is supposed to be natural. You know.
I think you're
we start
natural,
we start the episode with Jonah saying, "Not gonna lie, this intro's kind of weak." That's where we start.
Not gonna lie, this intro kind of weak.
Forewarning.
Not gonna lie, you're weak.
Go, go, go.